Good morning. It is 9:22 a.m. on Sunday, April 3rd, 2022. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. Just getting up is relative in this case because this has been a morning so far of like I get up for a little bit, I go to the bathroom, I have some water, I go back to bed, and so on and so forth. Repeat ad nauseum a little bit. Not really. I mean, like twice. um, So yesterday, feeling extra tired, complaining about having to get up early for Rocket's vet appointment, just turned into like I got home from Rocket's vet appointment. Just as an update, he is very healthy, except that he's chunky and needs to lose weight, which I guess I kind of knew, but he's not that chunky. But apparently, he's chunky enough at age 2 that it will get worse if I don't work on that. So poor little boy's going to be hungry and complaining a lot, I'm sure. Anyway, but getting home from Rocket's vet appointment, I just like being tired was just still kind of overwhelming. And so I went back to bed and I slept for another 5 hours. And so then woke up still feeling like, ugh. And so I'm like, oh no, I'm like under the weather with something. I don't know. Mostly I just have some sinus congestion, which feels like allergies, except for also just feeling very sleepy. And so, despite doing that, and then going to bed early and sleeping another like 10 hours last night, I'm still feeling like, ugh. So I'm not worried or anything, but this seems like it's a fairly ordinary little something, and I'm just gonna listen to my body. And I canceled the things I was gonna do yesterday, and just letting my body sort of dictate how much rest it needs. But in I did yesterday in terms of like sick day viewing. I decided to pull out a couple of movies that I had sort of been meaning to see but hadn't gotten around to yet, and that weren't necessarily going to be very challenging intellectually or whatever. But so the first one was the Dark Tower movie, which in particular I was thinking about because, of the Gunslinger, which did I talk about that? It was just, I can't remember if it was yesterday, but it was recently, right? So in any case, I didn't hate it. I think that it's a strange, as someone who read all of the Dark Tower books and liked them, I kind of enjoyed it as sort of a fast forward remix of it. But what's a little strange to me is that it feels like, to me, the sort of movie you make when you think you are only going to make one movie and you have to kind of cram in all the stuff that you want to have in there all at once. But like the accounts we had heard was that they were talking about having like pairing it with a TV show and like perhaps multiple movies. And uh, if that's all true and they really were hoping for that, and I mean, I don't have any reason to doubt it necessarily, I think that they just really were pretty overambitious to the point of leaving the casual viewers behind when they made this movie, just because it had so much stuff that was felt like fan service to people who have read the books like me. And so I'm able to see that stuff and say, oh yeah, it's the thing from whatever. But like I can only imagine it just being kind of inscrutable and hard to follow for anyone who hasn't read the books, or God forbid, to anyone who has only read book one, because the story is just not book one at all. And I mean, to be fair, the title of the movie is The Dark Tower, not The Gunslinger, but the story is not book one at all. The first third or so seems mostly taken from book three, and then a lot of the rest of it is elements from books 5, 6, and 7, except that the plot is completely different at that point. Now, and that doesn't upset me in the slightest. I didn't have any problem with that at all. But I can also just like, it's throwing so much stuff in there that it's got to just feel like someone just scooped out the contents of their junk drawer and put it in a movie to someone who doesn't recognize all of the elements. So I think that's probably why it didn't do well, and I think that that's the reason that it could have maybe been different if they had just kind of tried to start with a smaller scope and let there just be hints of bigger things to come. Instead, it really felt like they wanted to jump right to Endgame. Anyway, I also watched Halloween Kills, which I had forgotten while watching was always intended to be like the middle movie of a trilogy. And so I was a little surprised on the note that it ended in. Uh, I mean, it's a big sort of trashy slasher movie, which it's like in keeping with the. So I believe, shoot, what was the one just before this? I don't remember now, but you know what? It doesn't matter. I kind of applauded Halloween Kills, though, as a movie that is explicitly a sequel, literally picking up right where the previous one left off and just having no recap at all. Just not explaining any of it except for just like maybe 6 seconds worth of flashback or something. And just having a ridiculous amount of yeah, it kills. Halloween Kills. Michael Myers sure does. He kills a lot of people in this movie, and I don't know. I kind of dug it as a middle movie, even though I had kind of forgotten that it was a middle movie. But it was definitely good sick day viewing in the sense that it was not very complicated, did not require me to think very hard, and I was able to just sit there and go, huh. So in any case, I'm going to leave it there. I'm probably going to get some more sleep, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes. Hopefully I will be a little bit more myself.